Imagine the wind through your hair, the grass beneath your toes, and no running shoes to be bought. Humans have engaged in endurance running for millions of years. However, the first running shoe was not invented until 1970. For most of human evolutionary history, runners were either barefoot or wore minimal footwear such as sandals or moccasins with smaller heels and less cushioning. Based on my research of barefoot running, I will present information and statistics that running barefoot was done before running shoes were invented. Running barefoot has been researched extensively. This allowed modern science to be accepted that the idea of running barefoot was better than running with shoes. Running barefoot can cause less strain on the body and decrease future injuries and pain. During the minutes that will follow, I will tell you why running barefoot is the best option. Footwear decreases the natural form and function of the foot. Wearing footwear while running causes extra trauma and stress on the knees, hips, and joints of the body. It also decreases heel striking. Running shoes and other shoes worn while running can alter the natural form and natural function of the foot. Barefooters have a relatively wide forefoot and manage better at distributing pressures over the entire surface of the foot sole, resulting in lower peak pressures. Research has been conducted by the biology department at the University of Antwerp. This research has found that based on dynamic measurements of pressure distribution under the sole foot during walking, it found that barefoot walkers differ both in shape and in function from those who wear running shoes. Shoes that are worn while running may cause damage to the knees, hips, and ankles. In a study published in the December 2009 issue of PM&R, the Journal of Injury, Function, and Rehabilitation, researchers compared the effects of the knee, hip, and ankle joint motions of running barefoot versus running in modern shoes. They concluded that running shoes exerted more stress on these joints compared to running barefoot. Researchers observed increased joint torques at the hip, knee, and ankle. Large increases were also observed in the hip internal rotations and in the knee flexion. Research proves that the construction of running shoes in today's world gives those who are using them more stress on their lower extremities. These increases are likely caused in large by an elevated heel and increased material under the medial arch, both characteristic of today's running shoes. How did humans run before the invention of shoes? Scientists have found that those who run barefoot or in minimal footwear tend to avoid heel striking. They instead land on the ball of the foot or in the middle of the foot. In doing so, these runners use the architecture of the foot and leg and some clever Newtonian physics to avoid hurtful and potentially damaging impacts, equivalent to 2 to 3 times of the body weight that shod heel strikers repeatedly experience. By landing on the middle or the front of the foot, barefooters have almost no impact collision, much less than those who run with running shoes and heel strike. Many runners believe that running barefoot is dangerous to both their well-being and their health, but research concludes that you can run barefoot on hard surfaces and not receive the same negative effects while running with shoes on. As you can see here, this person is barefoot. Before contact, the foot is in the natural position. The runner lands on the forefoot and adjusts the impact because of the sensitivity to the surface. Here, this runner is wearing shoes. Before contact, the foot is pointed upwards. The cushioned shoes encourage the runner to land heel first, which is heel striking. In this picture here, you can see that this guy is running barefoot and he is not heel striking. He is landing on the balls of his feet, which is more comfortable for the joints on the hips, knees, and ankles. This runner here shows the same thing. He's landing on the front portion of his foot, and he'll be landing on the balls of his feet to increase the sensitivity of the surface. As you can see, running barefoot is the best option when choosing to go for a run. Running barefoot can cause less strain on the body and decrease future injuries and pain. Running barefoot can lessen the strain on the entire body, including the knees, hips, and ankles. The body wants to follow the natural form and processes, and by putting your foot in a shoe to go running can break apart that normalcy and naturalness. Ask yourself, how did those people who ran back in the Stone Ages manage without a pair of Nike Shox? Well, they ran barefoot.